Page 8, Alpine Melody. At the top of the page, they're reviewing the primary chords on the different keys we've had. C major, G major, and D major. And you look at all those whole notes up there and you think, oh, good Lord, we got all that stuff. I mean, it looks very impressive. As far as I'm concerned, I'd rather not look at it. You're going to get all of these pieces in the book. As long as you understand the 1, the 4, how they get there, it's done the same way in all the keys. Here, these go up, and then here. It's done the same way. Big deal. Okay, so let's see what we got. It's 1.5 pages long, the melody that is. Treble bass clef. 2 sharps in the key signature. Now, what we're actually going to do is go through all the keys. We're going to start in D major, 2 sharps, and then later on, or down at the bottom, the last line, you see it. Now you've only got 1 sharp in the key signature, that's G major. And then in the third line on page 9, that goes away, and now you're in C major. So you're going to go through all the keys. They can do that. That's fine, no big deal. When I'm doing the scales, I generally just do the scale at the beginning. Whatever that key is, that's what I do. But it doesn't hurt you. That's good practice. Go ahead and do each of those scales. Remember, just 1 octave up and down. You got to get to where you know what notes are in the scale. You feel it. And the fingering of the scale, you're not looking at the keyboard, it just feels good. So when you're in the key of G major, you automatically know it's got an F sharp in it. You don't have to think about it. Or D major, you got the F sharp and C sharp, and you're just going to play those. When you're playing the piece, you're playing in the key of D major. I'm just automatically going to add F sharps and C sharps because I'm used to playing the keys in the scale. And 3/4 time signature. Right hand first, we're starting out with 1 chord, and then a 5/7 chord. The rhythm, we'll get the rhythm later. Second line, 3rd major, it's 4 chord, 1 chord. Oh, last line on page 8. Again, the fingering we use depends on the music and what's needed. So on the chords so far, I've just been using closed position, because that's all that's needed. But when I get to the last line in the 3rd major, going on, I got here. Now suddenly this note comes into play. I need to change the fingering to this so I can play that. Therefore, I've got to change it to this. They don't say anything about fingering numbers on this part, but I'm telling you, in the last line, the first measure is a 5/7 chord, next measure is 5/7 chord, next measure is a 1 chord, and the next measure you have a 1 chord and a D. Therefore, instead of 1, 3, 5 on the 1 chord, I'm going to move it to 1, 2, 3 on the 5 chord. This way my little finger's ready for the D. So to play the last line, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. There. So I'm preparing for that. So can you do that? You need to be able to. So I don't want to go from here to here. That's a bad idea. Let's not do that if we can help it. And the last 2 measures on page 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And you come down, if you don't want to put I don't know how big your hands are or fat your fingers are. If you don't want this, then just reach down your 2nd finger. Because if you got big hands and all, you can reach that. If you got little hands, you got to use the thumb. But that's not a problem, because if you got little hands, you fit up here. That's all right. I don't know. Okay. Page 9, 3rd line down. You're here to start, and then in the 2nd measure, it's another G. Remember, that's a repeated note. We change hand positions on repeated notes sometimes when we need to, and that's all we're doing. Here to here. We're going, that's okay. Here. You got to have the natural sign, or it'd still be an F sharp, because F sharp's in the key signature until you get across the double bar lines and that natural sign. That's telling you the sharp's going away. Now we're in the key of C major. 1, 2. Then we have the chords for C major. Oh boy. All right, left hand. Let's see what it's doing. So we're sort of in this position. 1, 2. C sharp there, or yeah. It's in the key signature. last line here. The left hand, the little finger's doing both. That's okay. Then you have some rest. You got time to move up here into the G position. You're doing the chords. Okay. Page 9, third line. Here. You got 2 beats rest to come down here. Now you're in C position. Okay, and then the last line, the last 2 measures, it's here, and then you get a treble clef. Remember, they can change clef signs anytime, anywhere they want. They did. So then you come up here. It's over the right hand. Pretend there's a right hand here. I'd put my right hand here, but I'm too lazy to do it. So I'll just pretend there's one that's here. And that's the left hand. Put them together. Let's see what mess we have. We got D. The idea. Go down to the third line on page 8. It's here. And as I'm playing these, you get the left hand down here. Okay. Go down to the third line on page 9. We're here. See, this is the same, but this is going here. This, I get the left hand down. That's putting the hands together. Now I'll go over this very slowly and carefully, just a few measures or a line or a couple of lines, I don't know. It's different for everybody. And work out the hesitations. Go as slow as you need to, but no hesitations. And once I've done that, I think about the articulation. And this is very connected, but you can lift up for the phrasing. They have the phrasing for you. Lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Put in the phrasing. The chords, you just play them. Now once I've done the articulation, then I add the dynamics. P at the beginning, and remember it applies to the melody. In this case, the left hand. Soft. This, very soft. Second line, you get a hairpin, you go up to sort of loud, go up to moderately soft here. Left hand stay in the background. Stay there. This dies away on its own. Just keep the right hand under it. Now suddenly we're in moderately loud here, and this is soft, so it's. Second line, you go up to loud, and stay there until the third line. Each one, and then solve here. There. Like you were at the beginning. And at the end, you die away. And the last measure, there's no melody. It's all of it together. It's just a chord. I don't like the idea of doing that. I think that's not a very good idea. But we could use the practice of crossing over. You're going to need to do it sometimes, so go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I would use the extended position on that last one. Here, and just leave that down. But that's okay. And this time, just lift up long enough to get you there. All right, don't wait too long, because that's too long. And don't do it too soon. Hold that down as long as you can and still comfortably get up there. Here. Then once I have the dynamics in, I'll think about the speed. Andante. The melody is andante moderato is just a moderate andante. Whatever. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's the overall feel of it. Well, 1, 2, 3, because that's more of a moderato. But that's all right. It's the feel of the melody. And these half notes are going to want to speed it up a little bit. And after all that, let's see what we're doing with the pedal. So what are we adding pedal again? Why? And it looks to me like all we're doing is we're adding it to color the longer held notes here. On the first line on page 8, the C sharp, you're holding it out for 3 counts. Well, if you push the pedal down 4, it colors it. And that's the effect it has, and that's basically the way they're doing this all the way through. Now, it really does help at the end, the last 2 measures on page 9, because this way we still get all the sound. So I got all those notes. I don't lose that note, because we don't use pedal, I lose it. See, I don't have that note anymore, so it kind of helps there. You have to decide, do you like that sound with the pedal or not? Because if you don't, leave it out. You don't need pedal on this piece at all. You do just fine without it. But you add it, you try it out, experiment with it, and see. So on measure 4, when I add it, I'm going to play the notes first and then the pedal. I'm going to lift the pedal with the hand. I want to hear the phrasing. So forth, and that's the way it's pedaled all the way through. You have to judge, do you like the sound? If so, fine. Now on the speed, I might mention there are retards. We're actually playing this piece like 3 times, 1 in each key, and at the end of each one, except the last one, you get a retard. Look at the bottom of page 8. You see the retard there? That means gradually slow down. And then you get an off tempo to resume the speed you were going before you slowed down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now, let's talk all tempos just a little bit in case you're not confused enough. All tempo means to resume the speed you were going before you changed it. It does not mean resume the first speed. No. We were going a certain speed before we slowed down, and that's the speed we want. There's a couple of ways of interpreting an all tempo. You can immediately just take off. So starting on the 3rd measure on the bottom of page 8, it's here. Then I just immediately just take off. Another way is to take a couple of beats or so and speed up, accelerate. It's interpretation. You have to try them and see which one you like. In some cases, one works better. In other cases, the other one works better. Now, in this case, because they have before the double bars, there's a couple Ds at the bottom of page 8. Here, and we're slowing down. In my mind, I would just take off because of that. So it's... just take off again. That's how I would interpret it. You interpret it however your teacher tells you to. Ha ha ha. And the fermata at the end, you just hold that out for however long it feels right. We'll do it with a metronome. I'll double it and hold it 6 counts instead of 3. And I prefer to put a little retard at the end too. That's just how I felt to interpret it. That's how felt it. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't put a retard there. Usually you see the retard at the end of the piece, not elsewhere, but I don't know. It is someone's opinion of how it should be. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs, and I can't do the retards because the metronome won't retard. I'll give us 3 counts. I'm going to go ahead and show the pedaling so you can see it here too. 1, ready, go. 2, 3, hold, 2, 3,